Welcome to another Champs 21 review show. I'm your host, Anthony Foster. Today was a very, very interesting day at Champs 2021. Today is being the third of 5 days. St. Elizabeth Technical won all 100 meters for boys. Edwin Allen won 3 of 4. Tia Clayton fall started. Tina Clayton came through to take victory in the class 2 girls 100 meters. Let me give you the top 5-point standings for the boys first. In the lead is Kingston College, 133 points. Jamaica College, 124.5 points. Calabar, 80. St. Elizabeth Technical, 70 points. And in 5th, St. Jago on 56 points. On the girls' side, Edwin Allen lead with 184 points, St. Jago 158, Heidel 132, Homewood 63.5, and rounding off the top 5, Wolmer's with 45 points. Joining us tonight to discuss the third day will be Elmo, Oliver Harris, and also Davian Nugent. Elmo, Davian, welcome to Trackalerts review show here again on Trackalerts TV on YouTube and Trackalerts on Facebook Live.
Thanks for having me. Davian, it's been a while, but COVID is like that, right?
Definitely. Foster, I'm not hearing you so clear. Can you turn up the volume for me, please?
Okay, are you hearing me better now?
No, I'm barely hearing you. Can hear you, but it sounds very low.
Davian, you're hearing me, right?
You're low as well, Elmo.
Right.
So I don't know if it's on my end.
Okay, let us go ahead with this and see how best we can go through. But let me start with you tonight, Davian. Yesterday, you said you expect the Clayton twins to close the door on their rivals for Edwin Allen, and you also expect JC to score heavily in the 1500 meters. Give us your perspective on today's third day, Davian.
Well, as you said, many expected the Edwin Allen girls in the class 2, Tia and Tina, to close the door on the rivals. I don't think the door is completely closed just yet, but it's starting to creak. Edwin Allen ahead by 26. My analysis says that they're going to eventually come out on top by about 50 points. Big disappointment. A lot of people were left in tears when Tia Clayton actually fall started. Tina herself started to cry, and it allowed the tears to flow from everybody else. But as you said, dominant performance from the Edwin Allen girls in the 100 meters today. 3 of 4 events, and the 3 of the 4 events, they did it in dominant fashion. Brandy Hall, Tina Clayton, and Terry Long in the class 4 event looked dominant. And it shows, I keep on saying it. But the Edwin Allen girls, they're almost everywhere. Such a big team, such a powerful team, too big to be beat. And I mean, for Jamaica College and the 1500 meters, we expected it. I think they underperformed a little bit. We were expecting possibly them to score about 13 at minimum. They ended in the class 1. They ended up with 11 points in class 1. Underperformed a little bit. Kingston College overperformed a little bit. So that is a wash. But the other places where you were expecting them to perform, class 2, class 3, they did the deed there. They're behind right now, but when you look at what is to come, the Jamaica College team, I think if the projection holds, they're where they want to be right now. At the end of today's action, the projections were that Kingston College would be ahead by about 30 points. Well, they're ahead by about 8 points. And for me, that's a worry for Kingston College, because the number of events where they can make up points is now becoming limited as the days go by. I'll give you an example of how limited the points are going to become. Class 2 boys triple jump starts us off tomorrow. Class 2 boys triple jump includes 5, maybe 6 jumpers who we're looking at maybe challenging for the medal. The favorite, a red hot favorite coming in, is Hibbert of Kingston College. Hibbert got hurt in the long jump, visibly hurt in the long jump, could make the finals. Another athlete, Willis, also of Kingston College, visibly hurt, could make the long jump final in the Class 2 event. Another one of the favorites, Javar Thomas of Calabar, again, could not make that top 8. Then you look at what the Jamaica College team has. They have 2 very decent triple jumpers. You look at them and you start to think, maybe, just maybe, they're going to score big points in the triple jump to start the day out for Jamaica College. If that happens, they start the day out with big points. It may be that Jamaica College retakes the lead, and I say retake the lead because they had the lead for a short time today after the boys Class 2 shot put. They had the lead by about, I think, 4 or 3 points, and then the Catalan points came in, and it pretty much wiped it out, and Kingston College retook the lead. But if it is that the boys Class 2 triple jump doesn't go the way that the predictions have it, where it's a close battle between those athletes that I mentioned, the 2 from Jamaica College, the 2 from Kingston College, and Kingston College is again unable to score points, then Jamaica College starts to take the lead. I expect though that Kingston College will fight back. They'll fight back in the hurdles. They'll fight back
Just hold that point, Davian. Just hold that point there. Let me bring in Elmo. Elmo, according based on your predictions coming in, do you think Edwin Allen, Kingston College, Jamaica College, they are where they are supposed to be, or based on your prediction, who are in front or who are behind?
One of the problems with predictions first is that you tend not to score for false starts, you tend not to score for injuries, and so on. So, lots of things will happen. All the teams have lost critical points, more so KC, of course. So I would say that things will be exactly where we thought they would be in terms of GSC winning. We're not sure what the margin will be yet. If KC continues to have this type of championships, GSC is going to win big. If you look at all the semifinals, and tomorrow will be a serious story in terms of what will happen, because you have the 200, 800 semis. I think you have the 400 semis too. Of course, you have the 400 hurdles, which are finals. So KC's points may even go up. But the semifinal points, which will tell you what's going to happen on the final day, GSC is going to be dominant in the 400s, especially 800s, and I think they'll even have, and even the 200s. So Kingston College in a whole lot of trouble. They know this. In the case of Edwin Allen, as Davian said, they're just too deep. Because, they have lost so many critical points. In another era, especially when people like Maurice Wilson was at Homewood, in another era, they lost all of those points. They would lose champs. But they can afford to what? This is the 3rd false start they have now. Dwyer fell in the 1500, did not finish at his 9 points right there. Tia Clayton, that's another 7 points. So they are throwing away points left and right. But still, they are ahead and will continue to grow their points. Problem is that St. Jig, although they have a nice little balanced team, they're just not deep enough, right? They may be deep as far as, they may have quality, but in terms of all the classes having quality, that's the problem, and that's where Edwin Allen is just going to go away. So I agree with Davian wholeheartedly that it's hard for Edwin Allen to lose. Basically, for me, the critical things now at championships are the events where we're looking at certain events, and although the wind is really messing up the sprint finals and so on, I mean, there are certain things we should look at. For example, in the class 2 girls, 100 meters, do you realize that the top 4 girls ran 11.6 or better? I mean, Tina Clayton ran 11.38 at 0 wind according to the wind adjuster. Should have run 11.2, right?
Mm-hmm.
4 girls ran better than 11.6. Brandy Hall won class 1 in 11.7. That's to show you the quality of the sprints. So kudos to Hydel and Petersfield with Alexis James for producing those sprinters. However, I must say my most impressive sprinter, which I saw from Cham started, was Lavanya Williams from Rossi. What a beautiful sprinter. I think she will go places. Not sure what you think about her, David.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even have words. When I saw her first time at championships, I said on air, I was on KLS at the time. I said on air, things are happening at Rossis in terms of form, in terms of quickness. She is on point, very much on point. I mean, you have some athletes, you look at them and you think, okay, form is perfect, form is good, but they're not quick. And then you have some athletes, you look at them and you think they're quick, but the form is not all there. This lady, this youngster has it all together. And I mean, she really, really impressed me. And it is somebody that I'm looking forward to seeing in future.
Davian, you mentioned that things going on at Rossi's, and would have seen where Miles would have, graduated 5th form from Edwin Allen and doing her 6th form studies now and representing Rossi's. And is it her father who coaches that Rossi's team?
I think that is correct. So a little bit of connection going on down at Rossi's there. They've been able to pick up some quality athlete. You mentioned Celeste Miles. Devontae Haywood also made the trek over to Rossi. So they've managed to pick up a couple of quality athletes. So I'm going to be watching that Rossi's program to see how it grows.
And we haven't seen the best. And we haven't seen the best one yet, right? What's her name? The girl who runs a 2-4.
2-4.
From Rossi's, right? I mean, she is awesome.
The 2-4,
indeed.
yes.
In class 1,
won
right?
The 2-4. Yeah,
class 1 girl. Oh yeah, Alia Francis.
Class 1 girl, 53 on
Alia
grass.
Francis.
Yeah,
Alia Francis.
No, she is going to run some fantastic times.
Before we turn our attention to Francis, that boys class 1, 100 meters today. Boaji was out fast. Petersfield Watson was out, like he was very, very slow out of the blocks. But he came back to get second. Boaji was ended third. But Sachin Dennis. Just let us look, Elmo. Let me start with you, Elmo, and that boys 100 meter class 1 finals today. What do you think of that race?
Well, okay. The first thing, I had a lot of my friends telling me that, listen, I'm crazy because Antonio Watson is going to win. This is the best form he has ever been in his life. I said to them, listen, if you're talking about the 200 meters, I will agree with you. But the 100 meters is something where if you don't practice that race often enough, if you don't have that start, you cannot give up anything at the start. And although Sachin was what I would consider to be an unknown quantity, because we haven't seen much of on Sachin for the last, 2 years. I haven't seen him since 2018. And we saw him early this season, yeah, but we wondered what kind of form he was in. But when you tend to look at the stage sprinters, you realize that, you know what, if he's anywhere near to his class 2 form, he's going to give trouble. And he went out with Boaji, because Sachin has this dominant start. And they just couldn't bring him back, right? So Watson, hopefully for Watson, the 100 meters is just his warming up for the 200 or trying to get some speed for the 400 or whatever. But Sachin is the real deal. The times were not very impressive. Again, they were running into -2 point whatever. But that 100 tells us that Sachin is on the way back. And that Watson, not too slow, so we can expect a 20 point, a mid 20 point from him in the 200 if the wind permits.
And just before you comes in here, Davian, let us give the results. Sachin Dennis 10.53 in a -2.3 win. Antonio Watson Petersfield 10.58. Boaji Nkrumah 10.65. Conroy Jones St. Elizabeth 10.68. Brian Level Edwin Allen 10.73. Javari Thomas JC 10.77. Raheem Scott Rossies 10.87. And Alex Javier Monfried of Excelsior 10.95. That's the 8 finalists in the Class 1 boys 100 meters. Davian, give us your thoughts on that race today.
Well, I mean, Sachin Dennis, Elmo said he was an unknown quantity. But if you watch the relays, the 4x1s, Sachin Dennis on that opening leg of the 4x1, he told us, I'm back in form.
I was wondering if they were all slow.
Carefully, you would see.
I was wondering if they were all slow on that leg.
Boaji as well. If you looked at his 4x1 exploits for Kingston College, you could see it as well. Got the baton, I think, in about 7th position and brought Kingston College up into 5th position. So, I mean, if you were using the relays as I was, you would have seen that these guys are ready. They're ready to run fast. My concern, however, is for Boaji, because what is happening in the Kingston College camp right now is a lot of injuries. And I'm worried about the program. Because when you have so many injuries, you start to question whether or not it is the program itself. It can't be the athletes. Is it that the program missed the peak, or you're undercooked, you're overcooked? What is it? And for Boaji, he has a lot of running. He's been doing a lot of running. So I'm worried about what happens tomorrow when we come back for the 200 semifinals, and then what happens on Saturday when he has to run the 200 and then come back for the 4x1. And he will have to bring that Kingston College team on his back. He will have to bring that team.
Having said that, let's look back a little bit. Sachin Dennis did not run the 1 nor the 200 at Western Champs. He ran the relays. Antonio Watson won the double. Was it, do you think it was a plan by coach, St. Elizabeth technical coach, journalist as they call him, to save, Sachin Dennis, because he don't want to show too much, especially with, Sachin coming back to go up against Antonio Watson in this 100 at Champs, and Stet's coach believes, no, I'm not going to run him in any of those events at Western Champs. I'm going to allow him to leave everything on the track at the National Stadium in that Class 1 boys 100 meter final. Was that a thinking you believe?
Well, I was never good at conspiracy theories, but I guess I could get better. There's also Stets as a third Class 1 guy who is very quick. And my first thought was that, I can't remember, maybe Davian remembers his name. He runs in the 200. And he came 2nd and 3rd at Western Champs. I think that he wanted to give him a run. But of course, there are 2 athletes who are supposed to run. So I'm not sure if what happened was that Coach Walcott just wanted to give his other guys a run and saying that, you know what, you guys have been training hard. Western Champs, you run. Sachin and Conroy have done this over the years. They don't need this. So that is possible, but you may have a point. I never thought of it. Maybe with all these psychological games being played, maybe he might have said, you know what, we are not going to let anybody see what we can do.
Yeah.
Let us just keep it until champs. So the psychology, again, I'm not sure. We tend to think of everything as, people planning all kind of stuff.
Okay, and just before you come in here, Davian, I have to read some of the comments. Jean Sutherland, one of the biggest supporters of Trackalerts. She knows whenever we're going live, whatever we are doing, she always supports Trackalerts. Big up Jean Sutherland. And just to go through a few of the comments, Nicola Thompson, while you're at it, can you check for me? I think Michael O'Hara did one in all classes also. Please clear that up for me. Someone else said, Darrell Richards, the schedules you post don't load. Actually, I don't know what's up. Natalie Campbell, Sir Move, and I guess she's referring to some goat mouth. I mean, I don't know why, or which team she believes. One of our analysts is not singing her song from. Arnaldo Allen, he's actually watching from Montego Bay. Lord, my team out, laugh out loud from Nicola Thompson. Boagia Killer, St. Diego don't lose critical points. States will continue to spoil some parties, and these are just some of the comments. And unfortunately, we're not going to be able to read all the comments, but these are just some of the comments. Tomorrow is the 4th day. Very, very important day. Tomorrow is normally the day when most persons will decide or will want to say, it's all over. Edwin Allen and Jamaica College, or Edwin Allen and Kingston College, are going to be the champions for 2021. Starting with you, Davian, how important is tomorrow, and what are the main events in terms of stacking up the points for Kingston College or for Edwin Allen or Jamaica College that we are to look forward to?
Right. So the way that the schedule is set up, we started out with a bang on day one. I think we had 16 finals. Day two, you had 5 finals. So day two was really moving yourself from the preliminary rounds, from the semi-final round to the next round, to your finals, to your semi-finals. Today was another day to score points. So you scored your points in your 100 today, and field events that were on offer, as well as the 1500. Tomorrow is another moving day. So your 800s, your 200s, your 400s. The point of tomorrow is to get into those finals for Saturday, because Saturday is going to be the big day. Saturday is a day that you either sink or you swim. And if you don't have any finalists, you cannot swim. You're going to sink. So for tomorrow, it's all about the coaches keeping the athletes healthy, getting them to the next round. Because from the next round, you can then score points. You don't get to the finals, you don't score points. There are some finals on the way on the boys' side for Kingston College. It's about separating themselves as much as possible to counteract the big Jamaica College onslaught that is expected on Saturday in the 800, the 400, the 200, the relays. Tomorrow on the girls' side, there's also going to be quite a bit of finals as well in the field and such. The HEP starts tomorrow. For the likes of Edwin Allen, it's about keeping the ship steady in those finals. For the likes of St. Diego, it's about picking up unexpected points because they are still in with a thin chance. Even at this stage, they're in with a thin chance. So it's about picking up some unexpected points and hoping that Edwin Allen continues to drop points, because even though they're ahead by almost 30 points, they've dropped a lot of points, a whole lot of points, at least 30 points. But that goes back to the point I made from beginning. this Edwin Allen team is just so big, it is not normal.
Elmo, tomorrow, what will be the turning point for Kingston College tomorrow, you think?
Well, Kingston College will be, the final event will be the 400 hurdles, where Kingston College is expected to dominate those events and score points. They will, I doubt if they'll get the 1-2s like they were thinking early season they would get. Because, well, certainly for the under 17 boys or the class 2 boys, it's possible. It's quite likely that both athletes, Jennings is named Jenkins, and Antonio Forbes. It's quite possible that both will medal. Quite likely Forbes will win. The class 1 is a bit difficult. One of the problems that they'll have in that class 1 race is that today in the quote-unquote semifinals, heats, whatever you want to call it, they had the 3 top athletes in the same heat. Can you believe that? And then now you have the rule that says top 2 goes through and the fastest losers. Fastest losers automatically get the worst lane. Lane 1 or 2. So I'm not sure how that will help KC. So they'll struggle. They're not really struggle, but they won't score maximum points in the 400 class 1 boys. Now, when it gets to the semifinals, so the 200, the 800, the 400, that is where Jamaica College is going to flex its muscle. And they're going to have 2 athletes in all of those finals. And those 2 athletes may very well be possible medalists come finals day. And that is what Kingston College does not have. And that is the problem.
And let me just turn my attention and just give some results. You know, Ralford Mullins of Kingston College, he won the discus with a throw of 61.92 meters. So good there for Kingston College. Serena Cole, many of us would have used Serena Cole in the sprints, you know, part of that famous Edwin Allen class 3 4x1 team. She won the class 2 girls long jump with 6.10 meters. A good jump there for Serena Cole. Let us look in the field, Elmo. Are we satisfied with the results we are seeing in the field so far?
When you say satisfied, you mean if we go where they are supposed to go? Or are you talking about the quality of the field events?
Well, we're not. I mean, at this stage, we can't be looking on the quality because many persons would have already understand with the whole COVID-19 and it set the athletes back. Whether we should have had champs or we shouldn't have champs, you know. So it's really looking on the person that we expect to come through in the field events.
I would say by and large, most of it has gone the way most would expect it to. In the long jump class 2, as you mentioned, yeah, I mean, Serena Cole has been jumping 6 meters. She has done it more than once this season. Class 3, we expected the St. Jago girls to do a little bit better because they were on a roll. So they kind of lost some points there, right? But Edwin Allen has continued to do well. Davian, can you remember any points Edwin Allen has dropped in the field? Wherever they can score. I mean, the worst, maybe we expected somebody to win and they came second or third. But Edwin Allen
I think
been doing very well.
Their field event has really stepped up. I can't think of anything right now off the top of my head. So the field event has really stepped up. It's really the sprinters and the middle distance people who have really been dropping points. But if you mention the quality of the field event, I'm actually happy with it. In COVID, we have a girl, Shante Foreman, going over 1.84 meters in the class 1 high jump. In COVID, we have 2 discus throwers in the class 1 discus going over 60 meters. I mean, the long jump was on the boys' side and in class 1 and class 2 was affected by the wind. So you can't really gauge it. I mean, we had 7.81 in the boys' class 1 long jump, aided by a huge wind, but it's a 7.81. I think we had about 3 athletes over 7 meters in class 2. So far, I'm looking and I'm satisfied with the performance. Federica Williams in the girls' class 1 discus throw
broke record. I almost forgot that one. So generally, I'm satisfied with what I'm seeing in the field. A lot of athletes I know they are not on the sort of form they'd like to be. Start, stop, late start, early start, champs move here, there, and everywhere. So they're not in the sort of form that they'd like to be. But I'm seeing record-breaking performances. I'm seeing performances I've never seen at champs before. So I'm very satisfied in what I'm seeing in the field.
Actually, I agree with you that the quality of the field events, because if you look at the long jump going right across the board, although you said they might have been held by the wind. I think the class 4 girl jump what 540. The class 3
Right.
class 3 girl, the class 3 long jump girl, class 3 long jump is gone. Yes, that is 5. What is girl from Heidel won the sprinter. I think she jumped what 580 or something like that, or did she jump 6 meters? Not sure. And Serena
I'm
Cole,
not sure, Elmo. I didn't see
right?
it.
We only
The
have one
quality has
6
been
meter
there.
jump so far. Only one 6 meter jump so far.
Well, I think right. Shamanic Hazel won the class 3 long jump. I think she might have jumped about 580 or 590, which is quality jumping, right? The high jump has been quite good because I think McDonald from Veer placed 3rd in class 2. You'd expect her to win. She's the character representative. She's an under 17 character champion. But 2 girls jumped over 170 in class 2.
Just to step in there, Hazel, she from
Right.
Heidel, she was 6 meter even.
Okay, she was a sick, right? And you should jump. Her jump was very good. So granted, again, it maybe winded, but hey, she did it, right? So the quality, I noticed one thing,
Well,
the quality
it was
has been
actually
there.
Elmo. It was actually in a negative 0.5 win.
I
Negative
wonder.
0.5.
And she jumped 6 meters. Well,
And
see
she
there.
jumped 6 meters even.
Right. Although I wonder how come at one. Sometimes I wonder about this. First, I must tell you, it's when it comes to our officials, I have no faith in them. So when I hear negative, maybe it was a positive win and I put negative. I don't know. But it's quite possible. Maybe I shouldn't be so cynical, but I'm sure you've seen all of the weird things that have been happening in these championships. Doing hurdles with less than equal barriers, using the 400 stagger instead of the 4x4 stagger, just all kind of crazy stuff. I think, these guys are really sad.
Okay, very sad, as you said, Elmo. And on that note, it's also sad because our program comes to an end. And but thank you, Elmo, for joining. Thank you, Davian, again for joining. And we hope to do this tomorrow again at same time, same place. Trackalerts TV on YouTube, Trackalerts on Facebook. Thank you very much, guys, for joining. And hope to have you back tomorrow.
Okay, all right. Davian, we need to talk. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
I try calling you, Elmo. I try calling you.
You try. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to try again.
Okay, so there you have it. You've heard from Elmo and Davian. And just to wrap up our program tonight, let me give you the top 5 points standing again on the boys and on the girls side. Kingston College lead with 133, ahead of Jamaica College 124.5, Calabar 80 points, St. Elizabeth Technical 70 points, St. Jago 56 points. On the girls side, Edwin Allen out front on 184, St. Jago 158, Heidel on 132 in fourth, Homo Technical 63.5, and in fifth, Wolmer's 45 points. So tomorrow, fourth day, we look for more exciting action on the fourth day tomorrow. Many persons still believe that Kingston College will retain their title. There are some who believe it's going to be a Jamaica College year. So tomorrow, of course, we'll be in a better position with just 1 day to go as to who will win boys and girls championships. Many believe it's all over for Edwin Allen. So the fight, of course, now will come down to Kingston College and Jamaica College for the boys title. So again, thank you very much for joining us. You know, it was nice having Elmo and Davian with us tonight. They are our track and field expert. So until tomorrow, same time, same place, thank you for watching.